So again, there's a huge difference between these things. We've looked at all these different things that are not supposed to be within the membership of the church because they are not to associate intimately. Yes, they can be within the church. Yes, they can hear the truth, but they cannot be an intimate association, meaning they can't hold positions. That's what the Bible says, and it gives you this list of things. We've looked at what those things mean, what it requires, why the Bible says that in multiple locations. We're not just going to pull from one or two. We pulled from like 6 or 7 at the least on each of them, I believe it was. We looked at what is love. Are there multiple ways to love? And yes, there were, but the Bible gives us a specific way to love in different faculties, and there's a specific love for within the church membership, which is that they are to be restored unto fellowship with that which is good and right in God's eyes. We've looked at what does the Bible actually say about some of these, such as, does the Bible ever condemn a homosexual? No. Does it condemn homosexuality, however? Yes. And when they say, let he who is without sin cast the first stone, he says, but go and sin no more. From this point on, don't keep committing this sin. Again, restore into fellowship. Get these things right, which are in God's eyes. So there's a huge difference between all these things. So that brings us to the topic of, well, does the Bible teach us to hate people? And the short answer to this is no. And I can't give you any verse for us hating people or not hating people because it doesn't exist. There's no point where it says to hate these people. Instead, we are to love people and wish them to be restored unto fellowship with God. But we are to hate, because there is something that it is taught about hating, and that is we are to hate sin. So when all these people say that we hate homosexuals, no. If somebody hates a homosexual, that's a purely man-made concept that they have. The Bible never teaches us to hate a homosexual. The Bible instead tells us to hate the homosexuality, hate the sin that they commit. So, are we bigots who are completely intolerant of any creed, belief, etc., other than our own? Well, if you've paid attention to all of this, there is no way we could actually be bigots or be committing bigotry by following the Bible's teaching, because the Bible never teaches bigotry. We tolerate everybody being within the building and learning alongside us, learning the creed, learning the doctrines, learning the beliefs that we hold to. But we do not tolerate them being in membership, however. If you do not believe the same, then you cannot be in the membership because you don't believe. It is not a complete intolerance, because they're allowed in the building. They are allowed to come and learn alongside. They just can't hold a position of teaching or a position of pastorship, taking the Lord's Supper or anything like that. They can't get married in there because that is against the doctrinal teachings of the Bible. But it is not complete in its intolerance, because they are allowed to come into the building. They are allowed to come in and learn with us. We are never taught to hate them. We are never taught to be mean to them. Therefore, by definition, no, we're not bigots. They just don't have the actual word that they need to call us. So what are we supposed to do when a person challenges our church doctrine and tries to push into our church like that? Well, I don't want to cherry pick a verse, but there honestly is one verse that puts it very clearly. And so I don't think we need more than this one verse, because it is so clear-cut. And that is Romans 16, verse 17. Now I urge you, brethren, keep your eye on those who cause dissensions and hindrances contrary to the teaching which you learned, and turn away from them. The word here for turn away is eklino, meaning to exclude or fully avoid by deliberate, decisive rejection or turning away from. Again, they're allowed to, anybody that wants to come into the church and sit down and learn alongside us is more than welcome. But if they only seek to cause disturbances, then we can fully avoid them. We've tried to teach them. We've tried to explain to them. Therefore, we have not been completely intolerant. But since they will not learn, they do not seek to learn, and they only seek to disrupt, they can then be told they are not welcome here until they stop trying to cause disruptions. And even that, notice, is not completely intolerant, because they can still come back, just not while they seek to cause divisions or hindrances, which is a cause for error to our own teachings. Again, anybody can come in. Anybody can learn alongside us. Give them that opportunity. We are never taught to be completely intolerant. We are never told to turn them away. But if they seek to disrupt and cause problems and cause fights and cause arguments, they could be told, hey, look, until you want to act civilized, until you want to act like a person who wants to learn, and you want to tolerate us as well, when you're willing to show us some tolerance for what we believe, see ya. Don't come back in here, because all you're doing is causing disruptions. And, well, quite honestly, the Bible's very clear. So if they want to argue about what we believe, and they don't want to tolerate it at all, let them. Let them be bigots. Let them be bigotry. Let them practice bigotry. But know that we, as Christians, are not. And look at what you're doing. Are you saying, hey, look, you're committing homosexuality, so you can't come into the church. You can't meet with us? Because that's not what the Bible teaches. The Bible teaches let them come in. If they cause a disruption or try to go against the teachings and disrupt the learning, then explain to them, look, until you can respect what we're trying to teach here, you can't keep coming in. Once you're willing to stop trying to argue with us, you're welcome back, man. Anytime you want to come in. Because that's what the Bible teaches. Love them. Not accept them. Not tolerate their sin. Tolerate them, not their sin. But that word love is to restore to fellowship. To teach them that it's a sin. And we need to get it right. But don't do it harshly. Do it in love. Do it because you wish the best for them.